Hi everyone, welcome to Ibrox. We're here to talk about our Rangers win. The first Rangers League win of the season, quite remarkably, after the clocks have gone back the day after. But that point still stands. Danny Rohl gets his first win as Rangers head coach with a 3-1 victory over Kilmarnock. Myself and Chris Jack reunited. We've not been together much recently, Chris, but plenty of the season to go. That was better, wasn't it? It wasn't the best 90 minutes of football I've ever seen, but given the time that Danny Rohl's had with the squad, given what unfolded on Thursday, and given that he did change things, I think you have to say it's just a job well done in isolation.
I feel quite privileged. I've been at both of Rangers Premiership victories this season, that day through at Livingston and here. Didn't think I'd be saying that when we're almost hitting November, but here we are. It's not been a usual season. It's not really a usual football club, is it? No. But it was better. I think Danny Rohl can be encouraged by it. I think he can certainly be pleased by it. It's certainly an improvement on Thursday night, because that was fairly dreadful all round. So something for him to build on. I thought a number of encouraging aspects there. I think once again he's come across well. I think he emerges from the day with a lot of credit. But we're now heading into a week where it's not make or break, obviously, given we're only less than a week into his reign. It feels a lot longer already, but he's now got a real opportunity heading into Hibs on Wednesday night, and obviously Celtic next Sunday. If he wants to build something, if he can build something, I think he's seen that these fans will come with him. They just want something to get behind. They just want something to enjoy again. They're heading home after a day at Ibrox, where they've not had to shout at MD, they've not had to abuse MD, they've not had to gather at the front door. It's just all relatively straightforward and comfortable, and that's how games at this level, certainly at Ibrox, should be for Rangers. So many more to come, hopefully.
You make a good point about you could see, I think, the Rangers support desperate to get behind something because they've had so little to get behind. And I think what Danny Rohl instead of Rohl, isn't it, is what he's done well so far. We spoke about it to death with Russell Martin. Is he's played the politics pretty well. He's recognised he's not bigger than the football club. He's got to be a bit pragmatic from the start. He's shaking hands. He's smiling. I think as a personality, he probably fits a bit better here in that he's not overly flashy and kind of doesn't say outlandish things. But all these small things do matter because the fans sing his name. Okay, so it's early on, but wanting to get behind something, and a manager's a salesman, really. Being able to do that early on won't hurt his chances. Rangers took the lead through Derek Cornelius, who I thought was probably their man of the match. Good showing from the Canadian today. He looked at me as if he disagreed there. Is anyone else? No?
I don't think MD really stood out, and I thought it was a number of good individuals, without sounding like a statesman manager who doesn't want to pick out any players for fear of upset in the dressing room. I thought Cornelius was good. I thought Mikey Moore was good, but he came on second half. Pleased to see Danilo get his goal.
Jed
Magoma, probably not, can't say the best he's played, but certainly more encouraging. I'm not that down on Magoma. I think he's been okay overall. I think there's definitely something there. I feel sorry for him because he's asked to play every minute of every game at left back. If there was another option there, I think we would actually see more from him. But while we get to January, then he's going to have to play a lot of football. I thought the system suited him a bit better today. Starting a bit higher up the park, got a number of good crosses in, really got involved, got in behind Kelly a few times. So encouraging from him as well. So I think everybody, I don't think there's MD stunk the place out, which is good for a change as well. But I said, without sounding like a statesman-like manager, a number of fairly solid performances there.
Yeah, there's a lot of like 6s and 7s, wasn't there? I think like Asgard had a good, not brilliant, but like a good enough first half. Maybe didn't quite grab the game, but I thought he was good. Raskin gave the ball away a lot, but kind of kept going. And overall, I think the performance was just more industrious, more forward running. They played the ball forward quicker and more often, which helped because you turn the Kilmarnock defence a lot. I was reminded of the game against Hibs that Rangers won here 2-0 under Russell Martin, the only time he won at Ibrox domestically. And while they did win on that day, it was so predictable. And I thought Rangers were a little bit more varied in how they attacked today. And I agree with you about Magoma. The issue is not so much him. The issue is that you've got a 19-year-old loanee with no obligation, and he's your only choice at left back. And if you continue to play this system, while I agree with you, and we'll talk about it, how suited is this squad to it? Because you have a lot of wingers, not many number 10s. You don't have many wing backs. That remains to be seen. I don't think Danny Rohl is going to be someone who is restricted to one shape, and he said that in his post-match press conference when he was asked about it. The Rangers went to a back five or back three. It was Jade Magoma on one side, it was Jeji Gassam on the other side. I think that allowed them to have two players in the last line who were just effectively running in behind, stretching the game, creating a bit of space elsewhere. It was a set-piece goal that opened the scoring and kind of broke the deadlock. Jack Butland then has a moment and it goes 1-1. And you see with this Rangers team, you say it all the time, like a first goal team. They're not just a first goal team. They're like whatever has happened, whatever the last goal is. They're that type of team because the confidence was absolutely sapped out of them. Then what Danny Rohl does is he makes a proactive substitution, bringing on Moore, putting Danilo through the centre, which I liked, and that pays dividends because Danilo scores to make it 2-1. Yusuf Trimiti gets his goal at 3-1. But just on the shape more than anything, it's what it represents that I think will please people, that he isn't. I can see that you like it already, and I know you like it because we've spoken about it. But that quote in the post-match press conference, "I'm not a manager who's basically consigned to one shape." He can't be, because he's got to adapt and make the best of this mid-season. And again, that's what he did today. Rather than thinking this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to stick with it, he made the best of what he had, and that was the right decision today in isolation.
Going back to that quote that I had about Rangers being a first goal team, I actually had this conversation with somebody coming back up on the gantry at half time, and I've now decided they're a first 2 goals team. If they go 2-0 down, there's absolutely no chance they're coming back. They don't have it in them. If they go 2-0 up, you quite fancy them to go in and win. Yeah. If they go ahead and then concede, anything's possible. The reaction today was better. Other games this season, I don't think Rangers go on and win. The crowd get on top of the players go into their shell. They don't find a way to react, especially when the moment, as you say, from Jack Butland, they're flapping at that corner. When it's a self-inflicted one, we've seen that previously. They've just not had the mentality or the character to come back from that. They did today, which was good. I think the shape played a part in that. I think they looked quite comfortable in it. I think the manager has clearly managed to, in a very short space of time, just find a wee bit of improvement somewhere. And to get back to the question, I do like the fact that he is going to be a bit more flexible with it. We've done a number of these videos pre and post match. You know what Rangers are going to do, you know how they're going to set up, you know roughly how the games are going to unfold. If we know that, the opposition know that. Opposition managers and players and coaches far more skilled at the tactical side of it, certainly than me, maybe not so more not so than you, but if we know it, they know it, and it then becomes far too easy for Rangers, far too easy for the opposition to play against. So if you go into a game against Rangers and you don't know how they're going to set up, and we spoke about it pre-match, could it have been a back three, could it have been 4-4-2, if we're then debating it, even if it only takes you 10 minutes to figure it out, that could be 10 minutes that allows Rangers to go and really grab a foothold in the game. You're not going to win the game in that 10 minutes, but you could go a long way towards it. So pleased that he's got that outlook. He's mentioned it a couple of times now. Also, we had an interview on the website on Saturday night where he spoke about it, mentioned it again there post-match. I think that's how he's going to play it. It is going to be a bit more flexible, a bit more adaptable. I think he gets plaudits for the way that he changed it at half time as well. And now you mentioned the sub, moving Danilo, taking Miovski off. It had perhaps been the easy thing to say, well, we'll go and throw Sharmiti on and we'll go like for like. Brings Mikey Moore on. Thought Moore had a good second half. The most effective he's been for a while, I think. He's not had a good couple of weeks. So good to see him getting back to form, and the decision to keep Danilo on repays itself 5 minutes in. He gets his goal, and I think the manager can be pleased with how that thought process worked out.
Yeah, for me, I think obviously the back five helped a bit because you had the three against Kilmarnock's, three defenders against their two attackers, and it wasn't just Martin. I mean, Philippe Clement never really changed. He had his system and he stuck with it. But even beyond that, where the players were situated on the pitch, I thought the bigger difference today, and they're actually unfortunate they don't get a fourth goal, because that fourth goal would, I think, have summed up quite nicely what was better about this performance. It wasn't the most beautiful, intricate display, but it was a lot more, I think, hard-working and intense. And I've not been on the ground the last week like you have, in the heat of another busy Rangers week, but one of the quotes that stood out to me reading up and speaking to people about Danny Rohl was something along the lines of my one non-negotiable is that we can't play without intensity. And what Rangers have been this season, and and they've been a lot, but they've been easy to play against. They've been comfortable to play against. And that fourth goal that's offside, where Mikey Moore follows up Nico Raskin and he wins the ball back, that's when I thought you saw Watch and Roll at the touchline at his most animated, was pushing Migoma up to run in behind, was trying to encourage his team to counter press as soon as they lost the ball. And again, that's something that just will fit with this crowd a bit better than slow football, which is what they've been exposed to for a lot of the season so far. And more than anything, I think Danny Rohl will know this from his time at Bayern Munich, that you need results to get buy-in. You need to build with points. It's quite unbelievable it's taken Rangers this long to get a win in the league. But I guess the feel of the afternoon, again, without wanting to go too over the top, because Rangers should be beating Kilmarnock at home, and they probably should be beating them sometimes fairly comfortably because of the money that they can spend on their squad. It did feel just a bit better in terms of the intensity and the work rate. Is that fair? Am I just looking for that?
Ultimately, Rangers fans want one thing above all. They want to see winning teams. They want a team that's going to win matches and win enough matches to win silverware. We spoke a lot at the start of the season about style, and I didn't ever feel that Russell Martin's style of football was going to fit this Ibrox crowd. They want to be entertained to an extent, but they want to win. If you win 38 games 1-0, you're champions, and if you're champions, that's all that matters. You don't look back in the history books and say, well, Rangers didn't win league that season, but by God, they played some lovely football. Well, at the start of the season, they weren't winning games, and they weren't playing good football either. I think the entertainment side of it for me is over-egged quite a lot. This crowd just want to see a Rangers team that's going to play with that intensity, that's going to play with a bit of heart, a bit of desire, that's going to be well organised, that the fans feel as fighting for them and fighting for the shirt. Can sound a bit cliche, but that's all this crowd want, and ultimately they want to win games. If Danny Rohl can win games, then he's on to something here. It is only one win, it is only one game, and as I said right at the top of the show, he's now got an opportunity over the next few days to really go and try and hammer that home. But I think, as we spoke about pre-match, he's come in at a difficult time. He's come into also a squad of players that he's had no input in terms of being signed. It's not a great time to take over, but he does have an opportunity there, and we'll tell over next week whether he can take it or not.
Yeah, we'll go before we blow away, because it is windy here. But I just think, mentioned that Mikey Moore, the most comfortable probably he's looked in a Rangers shirt since he came to the club. Anyone else stand out for you? Not really for me.
No, I think that's it. I think we'll end it there before the laptop, or before your iPhone blows away, and we'll go. You can watch it again tonight. I'll not bother as usual. And you can tell me in the morning if anybody else stood out that I've clearly overlooked here.
Yeah, we'll be back in the morning. I think me and you and Derek tomorrow. Stay up to date with all the latest Rangers news throughout this busy week. Hibs, Easter Road, and then the small matter of an Old Firm semi-final at Hampden next week. We will speak to you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching as ever. Please subscribe, really helps us. Hit the notification bell too, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.